The kitchen behind me needs an update. We're going to go ahead and do a kitchen remodel on a budget. I'm going to do small little videos on the process. First thing we're going to start off with is replacing this kitchen island counter with butcher block. We're going from this to this, this to this. This is an Ikea butcher block counter for $139. When tearing stuff out, cover up things that you don't want damaged, like new appliances. Tearing out tile is no fun. I'm not going to pretend that it is, but it's totally doable with simple tools. All you really need is a masonry chisel. I'm going to use a little mini sledgehammer because it'll go a little bit quicker, a little bit heavier than a regular hammer, and a pry bar. Safety equipment is a must. I'm going to use gloves and some glasses because little pieces can go flying anywhere. First piece. So here's what we have. We've got tile, cement base, which is a little bit over an inch thick, and we've got plywood as a substrate that's attached to the cabinet. This plywood, I have a feeling, is screwed into the cabinet because that's the way that they typically do it. If it was nailed, I could get lucky and pry up the whole thing, but I never get lucky, so why start now? I'm going to go ahead and chip up all the tile and then start breaking up this concrete to get to the screws on the plywood. All you have to do is give it a couple swings right at the grout joint. And the tile just pops right off. That's it for our V-caps. Took about 10 minutes. Now we got the field tiles to go. Removing the V-caps allows you to take a good look at the way this thing's constructed, and we saw a close-up of it. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get under the concrete base, pry it up, so maybe I can remove this whole countertop in sections. What I'm trying to do is work my way around this counter by gently prying it up. Again, we don't want to damage the cabinet, so we want to do this as surgically as possible. This is what your typical mortar bed looks like. Basically cement or mortar base, and they use chicken wire to hold it together. So that's your lath right there. Looks just like chicken wire. Now typically this chicken wire is nailed down to the substrate or stapled down to the substrate, and that's what keeps the countertop in place. So what we're going to try to do is keep prying it up, and what you're basically doing is prying up that chicken wire. I'm starting to take wire cutters and just snip off some of these broken pieces so they don't become an issue. So just cutting through the chicken wire so I can get my pry bar in a little bit deeper and start pushing this up. Another close-up of your basic tile installation. We've got felt paper that covers a plywood base. You've got chicken wire that holds the concrete or mortar bed in place, and then your tile is laid over that with a thin set adhesive. Best thing to do is pry from multiple sides, because what you're trying to do is just break things loose. Prying from one side normally isn't going to accomplish as much as prying from as many sides as you can get to. That's what you want. You want a huge piece like that to come up. Now I just have to get it out of here. If I had two people, this wouldn't be an issue. But I don't. Okay, so since I don't have two people there, I'm going to cut the lath, break this up into two pieces, and get it out of here. it in the neighbor's trash can. I'll never know the difference. Now, I didn't cover up my floor because it's a ceramic tile. It's pretty durable, and the only thing that was really falling on it was these little chunks of mortar. And me stepping on the mortar, if I had a wood floor, could definitely scratch it or cause some damage. So if you've got a wood floor, laminate floor, even a vinyl floor, cover it up. Rosin paper or some builder boards, something to protect the surface. So this countertop looks like it was nailed with small little finish nails into the edge here, which means it's gonna be that much easier to pry up. Pry up the remaining nails from the cabinet. The ones that don't pull out, use a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel. So how long did this demo take me? Well, according to that clock, close to 2 hours. But you gotta remember, I'm filming a video, moving lighting, moving the camera around. If you subtract all that out, you're probably looking at an hour, and that includes a pretty thorough cleanup. Now we're ready to test fit the butcher block. I got lucky because this piece is 25 5/8 deep by 74 inches long. A perfect fit. If you need to cut it, I would use a circular saw with a fine cutting blade like this one. All you need to mount it are the supplied brackets. So this bracket mounts to our cabinet. I'm gonna have a screw in here, and then it's gonna mount our countertop through this top screw. So what I'm gonna do is make sure that it's flush with the cabinet, and then mark my hole. Since this is an oak face frame, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-drill my hole before I drive my screw in. What I don't wanna do is I don't wanna drill through the face frame. So I take the length of my screw and mark it on my drill bit with a piece of tape. That way I know exactly where to stop drilling. For your adjustment, just make sure that you're flush with the cabinet. So is there a bottom or a top to these things? I don't know, but this side has an Ikea stamp with the name of it, so I'm assuming this is the bottom. Access is always a little tough, but it's not horrible. Well, maybe. Once you have one corner anchored down, now go ahead and double check all of your measurements, side to side and back to back, and make any little adjustments. Because now that one end's hooked in, it's going to be a little bit easier to adjust it. What's going to help you out a lot is if you have a really long Phillips driver like this one. The one I have inside is still a pretty good size, but to get that corner one with all the electrical conduit in the way, I'm going to have to use something just a little bit bigger. Once the countertop is put in, it's recommended that you use a wood treatment on it because it's basically raw wood. This is oak, but it comes with a light coating of oil from the factory. What you need to do is actually put a treatment on here. If you read the instructions, it calls out for a wood treatment called Benhandla. I wasn't able to find it, and Ikea is kind of far, so I just ordered from Amazon John Taylor Butcher Block Conditioner. And before you put that on, what you want to do is you want to take a fine Scotch-Brite pad. This is a white Scotch-Brite pad. You're going to go ahead and lightly sand the wood. Use a tack cloth to wipe it down, and then put on the Butcher Block conditioner, about 2 or 3 coats. And what that's going to do is it's going to preserve the wood, keep it from cracking, make it look nice and pretty. It's been 3 weeks since I've installed this countertop, so here's my review. After using it every day for $139, it's the best countertop deal out there. I love the product. I think Ikea gives you a great value for your money. This isn't a paid endorsement either. This is just me trying to make my kitchen look a lot better on a budget. So if you're interested in Butcher Block, definitely take a look at the Ikea countertops. That's it.